It's a tragic tale about the loss of innocence. A sudden act of violence that has changed the course of a young girl and young boy's life forever. Here, just behind me, a 16-year-old suspect has been charged with the murder of a teenage boy at an orphanage right here in Marrero, Louisiana.
For decades, shame has plagued my family's name. As an investigative reporter, I felt like it was my duty to uncover the true motives behind Marlene LeBeau's violent act on March 25th, 1976. See, Marlene wasn't just the youngest convicted murderer in the history of Louisiana at that time. She was also my aunt, whom I never met. My mother's half-sister, same mother, different father.
If y'all would just settle down, we can get started here. At 6:27 this morning, we received a call that the body of a 15-year-old boy was found submerged in the fountain at the orphanage. The victim sustained multiple stab wounds and a lethal neck laceration.
Can you give us the name of the suspect?
I cannot at this time. The suspect's a minor.
The victim?
No can do, same reason.
Can you confirm if the suspect was an orphan at the facility?
Yes.
And could the suspect be tried as an adult?
That's up to the DA, but if it all points to murder one, that's always a possibility.
The murder of Sean Sinclair became headline fodder for most news outlets since Marlene would be tried as an adult. The case of the psycho girl, nicknamed Murdering Mar. Everyone wanted to know why Marlene did it. Was it a crush gone wrong? Something in her DNA? The questions became red meat in the lion's den of public opinion. Until...
We have Frank at the scene. Frank, can you tell us what is going on down there at the federal courthouse?
This is an excerpt from the popular 70s news show Total News.
Thank you, Charles. I'm live in downtown New Orleans, waiting for the verdict to be announced at any moment. It's taken the jury just 12 minutes to reach a decision, which could mean that they... Hold on a second, Charles. I think I'm getting something here. Wait. Yes, the verdict is in. And this... Wow. Guilty. First degree.
That was November 24th, 1976. 4 months later, my Aunt Marlene LeBeau would be the youngest person to die by electrocution in Louisiana, second youngest in American history. The first was a 14-year-old black boy named George Stinney Jr. from South Carolina, who was wrongfully charged in killing 2 white girls in 1944. 70 years later, George was exonerated for his crimes. He was wrongfully accused. The two similarities between George and my Aunt Marlene were that both were underage and both were black. My Aunt Marlene's father was black, her mom white. Did racism play a role in her case? And if she in fact did kill Sean Sinclair, did Marlene deserve the chair?
I don't know what they think I did to that boy, but I did not kill him. Honest to God, I didn't.
This is the last interview ever given by Marlene LeBeau, 2 days before her execution.
Are you saying you're innocent? Yes! By the Virgin Mary's name, I am!
There was such conviction in her voice during that soundbite. Such honesty.
All evidence pointed to Marlene LeBeau.
Bert Phineas, DA in 76. He and his team led the charge to the ultimate conviction. This was from an interview he did a year after Marlene's execution.
The knife was found under her mattress. Blood that matched Sean's was on the knife. Her fingerprints were all over that weapon. She and Sean had 3 prior violent altercations. Open and shut case. It's tragic, just tragic.
Yes, DA Bert Phineas had all the evidence he needed for a conviction. But something didn't sit well in my gut. I feel like Marlene's story is still worth an examination. Who was Marlene LeBeau? What made her tick? What were her motives on that infamous day in 1976? This is more than learning about my family's history. It's also a journey towards the truth. So let's begin. I'm Casey McKenzie, an investigative reporter and crime writer. And it's time to ask the question, what made Marlene LeBeau savagely murder Sean Sinclair on the morning of March 25th, 1976, in the orphanage known as Hope Haven? Family albums, home movies. These are just some of the keepsakes that jostle our memories about the relatives we have. When watching faded 8mm footage, we can instantly recall how someone looked, moved, smiled. Memories churn. Reality sets in. My home movies carry a different sentiment. Even though I see my mother's image plastered on the wall in all its faded glory, I still, to this day, can't remember the details of her face. The wrinkles, the eyes, the smell of her hair. It's as if she were a ghost.
I guess your mama never healed from her brokenness, and that's probably why she ran away when you were just 3 years old.
This is Gracie McKenzie, now Gracie Bushman, my father's sister. I sat down with Aunt Gracie and recorded our conversation in her home just outside of Baton Rouge.
She never spoke a lot about her past. Your mama wasn't exactly what you'd call an open book.
Why do you think Daddy was attracted to her when they first met?
Opposites attract, I guess. He was warm, she wasn't. He loved showing affection, she didn't.
My dad, Charlie McKenzie, married my mom, Terry LeBeau, in 1982. It was a shotgun wedding. You see, 3 months before they got married, my mom found out she was pregnant with me. Dad did the right thing, as any Roman Catholic would do.
Our family wasn't thrilled at first. Lord, the stink your granddaddy raised when he found out, but when you came into this world, you were a shining light for all of us. Listen, sweetie, your mom was your mom, and we respected her for that. It was odd, though.
What was odd?
Well, at the wedding, everyone was there for your daddy, but nobody from her side of the family showed up.
Nobody?
Nope, not a single person.
Not one friend?
Oh, honey, Terry had no friends. At least by which none that we ever saw.
Well, did she ever talk about her sister? About Marlene?
Well, let me think.
We'll get back to my Aunt Gracie later, but to better understand my Aunt Marlene and my mother Terry, we need to examine the place they were thrown into as orphans. Hello?
Casey McKenzie?
This is Casey.
Hi, I'm Josh Burke from the Archdiocese of New Orleans. I'm with Record Management. You've called the office several times, so
Yes, hi. Thank you for getting back to me. I was wondering if I could get access to Hope Haven, maybe walk around the area for a bit.
Well, it's been closed down for quite some time.
I know, but I'd really like to see it if I can.
I'm sorry, but what's this all about?
I'm trying to get some information about my mom and aunt who were at Hope Haven during the murder.
Oh, the murder. Well, you mean the incident in 78?
76, actually. I'm Marlene's niece. Hello?
Yeah, still here.
I'm one of her only living relatives. I'm just trying to understand, get a better perspective on some things.
I see.
Is there a problem?
No, it's just, it's an odd request, that's all.
I'm sure access to the location wouldn't be too much of a burden, right? There was a reluctance in Josh's voice at first, but I didn't want to ask why. I just wanted to see how it all played out. 5 days later, I met Josh at Hope Haven. How long has Hope Haven been closed now?
Since the mid-'80s, lack of funding shut it down.
No one else jumped in to save it?
Some tried, but the Archdiocese rejected them. Too much red tape, if you ask me.
Anything to do with the past child abuse allegations that occurred here?
I'm sorry, I thought your coming here was a personal matter.
It is.
Then why are you asking about false claims that have no merit?
I didn't mean any offense. The allegations I was referring to were several lawsuits that were brought against Hope Haven and the Archdiocese of New Orleans in 2004. 3 plaintiffs claim they suffered mental and physical abuse in the 70s. Named in the lawsuit was a sister Cecilia Brushman and a father Earl LeBlanc. Father LeBlanc was the head of Hope Haven from 62 to 82. Both Sister Brushman and Father LeBlanc countersued the plaintiffs, and the lawsuit against Hope Haven and the diocese was withdrawn. I can tell the mere mention of the lawsuit agitated Josh. His face was tense, his lips tight. After a few moments of uncomfortable silence, I tried a different tactic. It's really beautiful around here, in an eerie way. Like time stood still.
Yeah, the architecture truly does stand out.
Spanish colonial?
Spanish colonial revival, to be exact.
My first impression upon seeing Hope Haven was that it reminded me of a Spanish mission. What was the first structure built on site?
Yeah, the Gilbert Administration Building, this one to our left.
Not the church over there?
No, actually, St. Bosco Chapel was built in 1940. The steeple, bell tower, all of it built in under 2 years.
What about the property and building across the street? Did that belong to Hope Haven?
Across Barataria Boulevard?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Madonna Manor. That's where the girls resided. The boys stayed on the main campus here.
So the boys and girls were kept apart?
During sleeping hours, yes.
And where did the boys reside?
That would be the Sturge and Weinberger cottages. Those two structures to the left of the church, see?
Yeah.
Those were built in 1925.
1925. A year after the land was acquired, right?
Actually, the land was acquired by the diocese in 22. It became the main orphanage within the New Orleans area. The Archbishop wanted a primary hub for misplaced children in order to efficiently find them better homes.
A question kept swirling in my head during the tour. Why would anyone put an orphanage in the middle of a swamp town called Marrero? Located across the Mississippi River from the suburbs of New Orleans, Marrero is littered with roadside shacks selling fresh fish, turtle meat, alligator meat. It's as Cajun as it gets. One of Marrero's claims to fame is...
Yeah, the Barataria Preserves start just to the north of us, about a half a mile out.
You mean the swamps?
That's right. They say a lot of problems are buried in those swamps. But then again, that's all rumor.
Sometimes rumors derive from truth.
Oh, here it is, the fountain. Yeah, we're standing in front of the crime scene.
This is it?
Yeah, this is where Sean was found.
The empty fountain sits just in front of the church. A statue of Christ surrounded by 3 children stands above the half-moon-shaped fountain.
See that along the rim of the fountain?
Where?
There, inside of it, a hint of...
Is that dried blood?
Yep, from the murder. They couldn't scrub it all off the stone.
Josh's voice almost sounded as if he relished in the moment. His tone made my stomach sink.
People forget. Places never do.
Why are you investigating this murder?
It's not an investigation. I'm just trying to understand my aunt and maybe my mom a little bit. Call me sentimental.
And why are you recording this space-time?
Call me meticulous.
I see freelance work is giving you a sense of humor.
Oh, I've missed your condescending remarks so much. Race Holt is one of the top editors at the American Investigation Channel, AIC, a news network that has turned from dependable news source to crime fodder, which is one of the reasons why I quit AIC 4 years ago.
You know, we haven't spoken in a while. Now you're reaching out about this murdering Marr case?
I need a little help, for old time's sake.
I may know someone. I think he was an assistant to the DA during that trial.
DA Phineas's office?
Yeah. Let me see if I can reach out to him. His last name escapes me.
Oh, what's his first name?
Dustin.
Thanks, Race. Anything will help.
Sure. Find something new with the case, maybe we can feature it on AIC.
If the New York Times doesn't pick it up first.
Aim big.
Miss Small.
Now this is a promise to all our displaced youth within the New Orleans community. You will not be alone. You will not be forgotten, and you will have a chance for a brighter future.
This is a 1962 soundbite of Senator Ezekiel Barnsworth during a fundraiser for Hope Haven.
You see, I am a product of foster care. I know the feeling that comes with being abandoned as a young man, when it should be hopeful, when innocence shouldn't be lost. And I promise I will do everything in my power to help Hope Haven sustain its operation while making New Orleans and the great state of Louisiana a place of opportunity for our children. Will you join me?
Senator Barnsworth was one of the most influential supporters of Hope Haven during his tenure as state senator from 1960 to 1981. During Marlene's trial, Barnsworth was one of the few voices who spoke in her defense.
Well, it's just a shame, isn't it? It's just terrible.
This is a sit-down interview from October 1976, a month before the verdict was announced.
Sure, if Marlene LeBeau is found guilty, she must be punished. But, you see, an execution should not be on the table. Well, she's a 16-year-old child. She's a girl, just a baby herself. She should be given a chance to turn her life around. If we don't allow that, then who are we? Are we the ones to give that verdict? No. I'm sorry, but as a God-fearing man, I truly believe in redemption.
Going through old sound bites and court records, I found something lacking in the trial of Marlene LeBeau. Technically, the prosecution proved that Marlene committed the murder, but they just didn't prove why. Did Sean Sinclair bully Marlene and she just sought revenge? Did she have an unhealthy crush on Sean? I had to dig deeper and learn what made Marlene Marlene. Maybe if I learned more about my mother, I'd learn more about her half-sister.
Well, honey, I believe your mama had some crosses to bear.
Again, this is my Aunt Gracie from the previously recorded interview.
I think that place, Hope Haven, did a number on Terry and her sister. Do you think they were assaulted? I don't know, Casey. That's something your daddy would know if he was still alive.
Dad hardly spoke about Mom.
He was hurt by her leaving y'all. He wanted to forget about her, you know. Hey, I just remembered something a little offbeat about your mama.
What's that?
Well, when they first met, she went by a nickname. Good Lord, what was it? It was Litz.
Litz?
Yes, Litz. Marlene gave her that nickname, and she told me why. It was because, I remember. It's when she was little, she would read literature all the time, especially detective novels like Nancy Drew and Agatha Christie, that kind of thing.
Litz? Like short for literature?
Well, I suppose so.
So, Mom was a sleuth lover.
Like somebody else I know, huh?
4 days after speaking with Race, I missed a very important call.
Hey, Casey, it's Race. It's about 5:30-ish. I have Dustin Hebert on the line with me. Dustin worked in the office of D.A. Phineas back in '76.
Hi, Casey. Nice to meet you.
Give me a call when you can.
Or you can call me directly at my office at 504-55...
Dustin and I played phone tag for about 2 days until I finally got a hold of him at his office.
Sure, you can record this phone conversation, so what's all this about?
I'm Marlene LeBeau's niece. She was my mom's half-sister.
Oh, yes, I remember your mom, Terry, was it?
That's right. Did you interview her back then?
Your mom? No. We almost did. The defense wanted to have Terry take the stand as a character witness for Marlene. Marlene wouldn't have it. The DA's office was happy about that decision, to say the least.
Well, I guess I was reaching out because I'm trying to fill in some of the holes as to why Marlene killed Sean Sinclair.
Have you asked your mom about any of this?
No. Unfortunately, she left us when I was 3. I haven't had contact with her since.
No way of tracking her down?
That would be another investigation all on its own.
I see. Well, since we're being frank with one another, I suppose I can tell you what I really think.
And what's that?
I don't think Marlene LeBeau killed Sean Sinclair.
What started out as a question of why suddenly made a U-turn and became a question of who. Wait, I'm sorry. Can you say that again?
Yeah, I don't think your aunt killed Sean Sinclair.
What makes you think that?
Now, don't get me wrong. I don't have any proof of this, but some of the evidence in that case just didn't make any sense.
Like what?
Well, for one, why didn't Marlene get rid of the knife? Along the same lines, why didn't she drag the body somewhere, like into those marshes? The way Sean was found, it just seemed too...
Staged?
Yeah. about that.
Why wasn't any of this brought up during the trial?
I don't know. That's something you're going to have to ask the defense team. Not sure how many of them are still around, though.
Mr. Hebert.
Hey, call me Dustin, please.
Of course. Dustin, can I contact you again?
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know how much more I can help. You know, sometimes the answers to our questions just aren't out there anymore.
Maybe Dustin was right. Maybe I was asking questions that could never be answered. So I did what any desperate reporter would do. I posted on all my social media asking if anyone had any family members or friends who were at Hope Haven during 1976. Now, it was a waiting game. After 5 days with no response on my social media, I was beginning to think I was on a wild goose chase. I mean, I had no proof and no real leads, just a former assistant to the DA who sort of confirmed my gut instincts. Just when I was about to close up shop, the call came in at 10:32 on a rainy night. I didn't recognize the number. It had a Virginia area code. Hello?
Casey? Casey McKenzie?
Yes, who's this?
I saw your post on... Anyway, I wanted to reach out. My name's Monica Kuvion. I was a friend of your mom's.
Oh, yes. Did you know her well?
I'd say so. I was there for her till the day she died.
Excuse me?
I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but your mother passed away last October, peacefully, no pain. I was at Hope Haven in 76. That's how I met your mama. She reached out to me when she left you and your dad all those years ago. We became sort of roommates. I guess you could say we looked out for each other.
How did she die?
Liver disease. Terry was ready to look for you and reach out, but when she found out she was sick, well, I do have something she left for you. Are you still there?
Yes, I'm just trying to take it all in.
I understand.
Can I ask you a question? Just to verify that you knew my mother?
Shoot.
My mom went by a nickname.
Liz. That's what I called her, too. Her sister gave her that name.
Yes, that's right.
So, should I send these to you?
Send what?
The tapes.
Tapes? Like videotapes?
No, audio tapes. Liz recorded herself when she found out she was sick. Casey, she made them for you.
What do they say?
Oh, there's hours of them. But here, I think this one will interest you the most. Let me play it through the phone for you.
So the reason for these tapes is not just to fill in the years that I missed, but to ask for your help. Casey, when I found out that you were an investigative reporter, I knew that you could do what I couldn't do. You see, I have proof that she didn't kill that boy, Sean Sinclair. My sister, your aunt, she was framed. And you're gonna help me clear her name.
This concludes episode 1 of 8 of Hope Haven, an investigative podcast series. If you'd like to help spread the word, please give us a 5-star review and tell your friends and family to subscribe. We'll see you next week on Hope Haven.